I believe that we should all be ourselves, our whole selves when we come to work, and we should feel comfortable and confident and accepted in who we are. That it's a place that is welcoming to all different kinds of people, including those who are protected and minority classes. A past interview that I wanted to pull an excerpt and share from you is from Kim Crowder. She's an anti-racism expert and trainer. She goes into workplaces and helps them eliminate or reduce discrimination. And she has a great interview that I'm going to share with you, a definition on the subject of microaggressions. This is a small excerpt of a larger podcast. I'll put a link in the comments for you, but you can hear Kim, and she's going to talk about what microaggressions are and what we as employers and business leaders can do to help eliminate these from happening in our workplaces. Awesome. Well, let's kind of level set things here. Can you talk to us, maybe define and set kind of a foundation on what racism is?
Sure. And I think, this is such an interesting question. So I will give you the book version of that. And then I'll kind of talk a little bit about some other things about the nuances of that. So it is described as prejudice, discrimination, directed against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is minority or marginalized. I don't really love that term marginalized. I like to say underrepresented. But here's where that's interesting, because as you move that over into the work environment, there are some real exacts, right, when it comes to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission about what qualifies as discrimination. Well, if you talk to those of us in the underrepresented groups, we can tell you that it doesn't look like that anymore. It's not being called these blatant words. It is around microaggressions. It is around not having support. It is not being paid equitably. So the way that definition looks is really very different from the way it's described, because it plays out in such a different way. And the way that people expect to see racism is in such overt ways. But for those of us who are part of those groups, we know it doesn't look like that.
Thank you. Thank you for kind of setting the tone here, because I'm happy that conversations are happening. This is why I wanted to bring you on here, because I think that when we think of racism, we think of what the EEOC or what the laws have said, or we've seen in the past on TVs and movies, but not these microaggressions and small instances that you're describing.
And I want to say this, we call them small, but to the person that it happens to at any given moment, it feels very big because it's triggering and it's an all of a sudden moment, right? Here I am standing. It's like if you were standing there and someone slapped you in the back of your head and kept walking, you're like, what just happened? I was just standing here. I didn't do anything. And so that's what microaggressions particularly, that's a way to think about what that feels like.
A special thank you for Kim. Thank you for talking with us and educating us on what microaggressions are in the workplace, what they look like, and how we can eliminate them in our workplaces. This is part of a longer podcast interview. I'll link to it in the show notes section here of this video, and you can check it out. We cover a lot more than just microaggressions, and I encourage you to connect with Kim and watch the longer podcast interview or listen to the longer podcast interview in its entirety. Together, we need to shine a spotlight on these practices to eliminate them from happening in our lives and workplaces. My name is Jessica Miller Merrill. I'm the founder of WORKOLOGY. If you have a comment or a suggestion or an idea about a future video, please let me know in the comments. Ring that bell, subscribe for alerts to get notified when we have new videos on a variety of HR and workplace topics. So comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know what kinds of videos and resources you need more of.